If you guys want coins for FC24, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very fast, they're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you use my code REMA, you can get yourself a lovely 5% discount. So what's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video guys, we have the updated 422 custom tactics and player instructions to help you out in FC24, especially if you are grinding out through this ultimate TOTS. And yeah, this formation's pretty good, man. It's really balanced. It's good in the attack with like those 4 attackers, and it's also really solid in the defense with those 4 back and the 2 CDMs. So it's a really nice formation, and yeah, just before we get into the video guys, would very much appreciate it if you could drop this a thumbs up. It does really help me out. Sub to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos, of course, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. And yeah, with all that aside guys, I hope you enjoy the video, and yeah, let's get right into it. Alright then guys, so starting off with the custom tactics today, for the defensive style, as always we pop this on balanced as it does give us the best control over our defense. When we want to press our opponents we can, and when we want to drop off and maybe be that bit more passive we can also do that. So balance is definitely the way to go in my opinion. I would not recommend using anything else. For the defensive width guys, I suggest anywhere in the range of 40 to 50 as it does give you that nice, narrow and compact defense to block out all those attacks through the middle, which is very important because you don't want your opponent cutting you to pieces, but at the same time you don't want to make this any lower than let's say 40 because you still need to have enough width to cover the wider areas in case an opponent goes down the wing, which let's be honest, in this game they'll pretty much do all the time. Moving on to the depth guys, you have a few different options depending on what you like, to be honest. What a lot of people like to use is that 71 depth strat where, you know, the AI basically presses for you, marks every pass, marks every player, really congests the middle area and makes it like an absolute nightmare to try and play through. So a lot of people like 71 depth. If you're one of those people, go ahead, that is absolutely fine. If you're like me and have a bit more experience defending and you want to have a bit more control, make it a bit more manual, you can use something like 65 where you still have that higher defensive line, you just have a bit more control over when and where you press your opponent. If it's still too high, you can lower it even more, and yeah, you can pretty much do whatever you want with the depth. It's honestly down to preference. For the build-up play guys, I'll always recommend balanced as it does give you the best type of build-up regardless of what you're going for. When you look at all these different settings like slow build-up and fast build-up, they're honestly really useless. Slow build-up, for example, your players just barely move at all, the AI is terrible. Fast build-up's just very chaotic and it doesn't help you out either. So regardless of the playstyle you want to go for, balanced is the best as you have the most controlled and the most consistent movements from the AI. Moving on to chance creation guys, direct passing is very important because it's the only way to consistently create chances in the meta of this game. When you use direct passing guys, your attacking players will make a run, the opposition defenders will follow the attacker making the run, and then once that defender has overcommitted to the run that the attacker has made, then your attacker will track back so that you can cut back to them. So it does really feed into that cutback meta of the game, but again, very important. Now for the attacking width, you can pretty much use what you want. You just need to know one thing, and that is the lower the width, the more narrow your attack, and then the higher the width, the wider your attack. So, you know, adapt that to what you like. I'm going for 48, so a little bit lower than 50, so it is a little bit narrow, but, you know, it's fine for me. And if you want that, that is absolutely fine. For the players in the box, we pop this on 7. This is so we can get quite a few players into that penalty area, but we don't want to overcommit absolutely everyone because we don't want to get counter-attacked all the time. Corners, we have this on 2, so sometimes we can cross it and other times we can play it short, and again, we don't overcommit. And the free kicks, because I don't really cross them, I just have them on 1, so I don't commit everybody into the box for no reason whatsoever. Now, for the player instructions, guys, both of the strikers, we have them on stay central and get in behind. Stay central is very important because we don't want them drifting into the wider areas. We've already got the wide cams to do that, so we don't need these players in those positions. So we want them to be in the middle, we want them to be reliable, and yeah, that's the best instruction for that. Get in behind is obviously very important as well because it forces the run out of the attackers. When they're on mixed attack, especially when your opponent is using some pressure tactics, they won't really do anything, they won't move, they're very static, and it's hard to actually break through that press. So stay central, get in behind, in my opinion. Now for the wide cams, guys, we pop them on comeback on defense and get into the box across. We pop them on comeback on defense because it'll make it defend in a 4-man midfield setup. So when we have these players on comeback on defense, the right attacking mid and the left attacking mid will come back to sit next to those 2 CDMs CDMs to make it defend in a more 4-4-2 shape. The reason we do this is because then we have better coverage of the wider areas when we are defending, and there is no gaps next to those 2 CDMs, so it makes it very difficult for your opponent to attack through the middle because of those 2 CDMs, and also more difficult to attack down the wing because of those wide midfielders as well. We also pop them on getting to the box across, so they do not hesitate in getting into the penalty area when we are attacking. Moving on to the left CDM, guys. I use the more defensive, stay back kind of guy in this position. It's important to have that balance in the midfield. You don't want to have like 2 really attacking DMs, otherwise, you know, you're going to be screwed. So on this one, the more defensive one, we put them on stay back, cut passing lanes, and cover center because their job is to just be a rock, be an anchor. So, you know, we don't want them going forward. We want them to intercept passes, which is made better by the intercept plus playstyle, and we want them to cover the middle area because, like I said, we have the wide mids coming back to cover the wide areas. Now for the right CDM, we use more of like a balanced guy, a more box-to-box kind of player. So on this person, because they've got more freedom, we just leave them on the default settings. And the only thing we change is cover center so that they will cover the middle area as opposed to the wings. Now for the fullbacks, guys, whichever one is your most attacking one, in my case it is the right back, we pop them on balanced attack and overlap. Now the reason we do this is to add that extra width to the attack. You know, this can be quite narrow at times. So having this fullback overlapping gives you that wider option, gives you that extra passing option, and is very useful. For the other fullback, guys, the more defensive one, we have them on stay back and overlap, so we always have at least 3 defenders back at a time, but when we send them on that run forward, they'll make that overlapping run to give us that extra width as well. For the 2 centre backs, we leave them alone, and the keeper, we also leave them alone. But yeah, guys, they're my tactics and instructions for the 4-2-2. I hope this video has helped you out. If it has, please be sure to drop it a like. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, guys. Take care.